The room was silent. A weak oil lamp flickered in the corner of the small wooden house. On the table lay only a chipped plate and a glass of water. The father sat with his head down, his hands trembling. His children were in bed, eyes closed, pretending to sleep, too hungry to rest. His wife sat nearby, folding clothes they had worn for years, each stitch telling a story of struggle. That morning, he had left the house at dawn in search of work, walking dusty roads, knocking on every door. But like so many days before, he came home with nothing. His shoes were torn, his feet blistered, and his heart felt like a rock. Yet he smiled faintly when his youngest daughter asked, "Papa, did you bring anything to eat today?" He reached into his pocket and pulled out a piece of dry bread, saved from yesterday. He split it into two and gave the larger piece to her. "Tonight, we're eating under the stars," he whispered, trying to make her smile. Later, when the house fell silent, the father stepped outside. The cold night wind brushed against his face as he looked up at the sky. With no one around, his tears flowed freely. He didn't cry out of weakness, but out of helplessness. A father is meant to protect, to provide. Yet tonight, all he could give was love, and the last piece of bread. Inside, his family slept peacefully, unaware of the storm in his heart. But even in that moment of despair, he made a silent promise to himself: he would keep fighting, no matter what it took. Morning light crept through the cracked window panes as the father quietly left home. His wife watched him go, worry etched on her face. He hadn't eaten in 2 days, yet his steps were steady. Pride had kept him from begging, but hunger had stolen that pride. Today, he would knock on every door if he had to. He wandered through the village, knocking politely, asking if there was any work, anything at all. Most turned him away. Some shut the door without a word. Others offered him advice, not food. The sun rose higher, and so did his exhaustion. Just as he was about to give up, an old shopkeeper, noticing his weary frame and gentle eyes, called him over. "You willing to work?" the man asked. The father nodded instantly. The shopkeeper handed him a broom and pointed to the back of the store. For hours, he swept floors, cleaned out storerooms, and moved heavy sacks. His hands ached, and his back throbbed, but he didn't stop. By evening, the shopkeeper handed him a small bag of rice and 2 coins. "It's not much," he said. "But you earned it." The father's eyes welled up, not because of the food, but because someone finally saw his dignity, not just his desperation. When he returned home, the children rushed to the door. Their eyes widened at the sight of the rice. His wife held the bag to her chest as if it were treasure. That night, they had a warm meal together, the first in weeks. They laughed, shared stories, and for a moment, forgot their hunger. The father sat back, listening to his family's laughter, and for the first time in a long while, he felt like he had truly come home. Winter arrived early that year. Cold winds crept through the broken window panes, and the family's thin blankets barely offered any warmth. The food from the kind shopkeeper was long gone, and though the father continued to search for work, it was never enough. Yet something had changed. He no longer looked at the ground when he walked. He had tasted dignity through honest labor, and now he was determined to rise, one step at a time. One morning, he began gathering dry sticks and broken branches from the forest nearby. With patient hands, he carved them into small wooden toys, tiny animals, spinning tops, and whistles. His fingers bled from the effort, but he crafted each one with love, thinking of his children's smiles. At the village market, he laid out his handmade toys on a worn cloth. Most walked past without stopping, but a few children pulled at their mother's hands. One little boy pointed to a wooden elephant, and his mother smiled, buying it. Soon, more villagers took notice. His toys weren't perfect, but they carried heart. By afternoon, he had sold nearly everything. As the weeks passed, his reputation grew. People began calling him the Toy Man. Then one day, a schoolteacher visited his stall. "We need someone like you," she said, offering him a job maintaining the village school grounds and teaching children to make toys. With steady work, the family's life slowly changed. They bought warm blankets, simple clothes, and had meals every day. The children returned to school. His wife began humming again while cooking, a soft tune he hadn't heard in years. And the father? He still rose early each day, but now with purpose, not desperation. He had walked through fire. And somehow, he had come out stronger. If her story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because this is Text to Heart, where stories speak to your soul and awaken your spirit.